Happy Sunday, guys. What is up? It is Tom over here at TFCIV MMA, and I am here with you guys after what has to be the card of the year. How good was UFC 281? We know they always stack out Madison Square Garden. We know they always put on a show, but that was truly something special, guys. We had 14 fights last night. We had 7 knockouts, 4 submissions, 3 decisions, several first-round knockouts, several first-round finishes. Guys, it was one of the most enjoyable cards I've watched in a while, and I've been watching a lot of fighting for a long time. Very good, several great performances up and down the card. From early on the prelims, Trezano, Frivola, Ryan Spann, Hanato Moicano, Aaron Blanchfield putting on a statement. Guys, it was just so damn good. There's no other way to put it. And then cap it off with Alex Pereira pulling it off late in the 5th round. His corner, it was very similar to the Edwards-Usman fight. His corner gives a phenomenal speech. Their fighter goes out there, gets the job done. Guys, it was so good. I can't wait to recap and break it down with you. And let's get it going. We started off the night with a very quick performance. Carlos Erlberg got the early knockout. That was what I picked. Overall in picks, I forgot to go over that in the intro. I went 9-5 last night. Not phenomenal, but I was pretty happy with it. I did pick correctly on that first fight. Carlos Erlberg went out there, got a very good knockout very early. So very quick, great start to the night. Then next we had Julio Arce, Montel Jackson. That one slowed it down a little bit. That did go to a decision. Montel Jackson did get the nod pretty deservingly. He had the rounds 1 and 2 were pretty close. I think could have gone either way. But that 3rd round, Montel Jackson got the knockdown, took control of the fight, got a good performance, and got the W. Then after this is when we start going up to the madness. Sungwoo Choi versus Trezano. Oh my goodness, just pure madness. I mean, 20 seconds into the fight, we had a double knockdown, which is something you see in parody videos, very rarely in actual fighting. So for that to happen as quickly as it did, and it was just an all-out slugfest, guys. Great fight. I was actually driving to a friend's house to watch the fights, and I'm listening to it, trying to catch a glimpse every now and then. I said, this is nuts. I need to be sitting on my couch watching this one. It was so good. Great to see Trezano get the finish in the first round in his home crowd. It was awesome to see. It was the last fight on his deal, so I think he earned himself another UFC contract after a performance like that. So very good, great performance there. Things kind of slowed down a little bit after this one too, with Karolina Kowalkiewicz getting the win over Gomez Suarez. Nothing too crazy in the fight. Pretty close fight. I mean, I saw a few people kind of upset with the decision, especially with that whole drama with them. It looked like almost they were rewriting the scorecards. I don't know how you mess up 10 plus 10 plus 9. I mean, it's nothing. It's not rocket science, but it is what it is. Karolina got the win. That's her 2nd straight win since coming back. So she looked pretty good at certain points. And now we get to probably my favorite performance on the prelims. The man, Matt the Steamroller Frivola, with an awesome first-round knockout of Adnan Azaitar. It was very good, very impressive. I was actually very impressed at the start of the round how there were a few opportunities where it looked like Matt usually would have just started throwing haymakers, but he kept his calm, he kept his composure, and then when the kill shot presented itself, he took it, gave us a phenomenal knockout, and you love to see it. Frivola's an awesome guy. He's retweeted a bunch of my stuff on Twitter, likes a bunch of my tweets, so I'm really appreciative for guys like that are open to doing that kind of stuff with fans, being involving with the fans. So great to see him get a good win. He had the awesome walkout. He had the Godfather, Ray Longo, in the corner, so another hometown kid getting a win. You love to see it. Then we moved into the main prelims, and what a dominant performance from Andre Petroski. Andre Petroski, I've been a big fan of his for a while. He was one of my favorite guys on Tough. So I was very happy when they still got the contract, even though he got eliminated, because I think he's clearly the better fighter than Battle, but it's tough in the Tough House. Sometimes things happen, and he's had some good performances. He made me a decent chunk of change on the Maximov fight, because going in, he was quite the underdog, and he made quick work of Nick Maximov, and he made Wellington Turman look just as easy. He didn't get the finish, but he had the real tight guillotine there for a while. Some people thought Turman was out. I don't know about that. But great performance by Petrosky. You love to see it. He's calling for the Bo Nickel fight, and I honestly, if you really want to test how good is Bo Nickel, put him up against Andre Petrosky, because Andre Petrosky is great on the ground. He's that Philly Gracie style. I believe brown belt through Gracie. So great jiu-jitsu, phenomenal wrestling, so strong, a lot of pop in his hands, and he just put on a great performance in front of the MSG crowd. So I hope he can get a big name fight next, whether it's Bo Nickel or someone else. I'm really excited to see his career keep going upward. It's going to be good. And talk about career going upward, Erin Blanchfield. I've been very high on Erin Blanchfield since she beat Miranda Maverick, because I truly thought Miranda Maverick was one of the best prospects in that division. I think she still is, but I think Erin Blanchfield is the best prospect in that division. And I don't even know if we can call her prospect anymore. I mean, she was ranked number 12, and she went out there and dominated Molly McCann. Pure domination. Oh my goodness, the elbows, the punches she was landing in that crucifix, and then finally to get the submission. Great round, great performance by Blanchfield. I mean, there's not much to say other than just pure domination. You got to love it. So it was great to see. Very happy for Blanchfield, and I'm excited to see what she does. I think with how dominant of a performance, I know she's young. I know we don't want to push her. She may only be a fight or two away from fighting Valentina. I mean, Valentina has beat so many people in that division. I mean, Blanchfield just was 12, beat number 15. If she can beat someone in that 7-8, then maybe you give her Caitlin Chukagian. Let's do it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see how good her grappling would be against Valentina. And I know we're going to see it soon, so I can't wait for it. Speaking of pure domination, I got a lot of hate because I picked Ryan Spann. Some people on Twitter, a few of my buddies, no, he's not getting this win. Dominic Reyes is getting the win. I said, you cannot trust that chin. I said, Jan weakened it, Jerry broke it, and last night Ryan Spann took it away forever. With what a crisp jab Ryan Spann landed. Ryan Spann's got so much pop in those hands, and he put Dom out. Very impressive performance on Spann's part. I mean, the dude in his post-fight speech says, yeah, this is the first time I've trained more than 3 weeks. I don't know how much I believe that, but great performance by Spann. You love to see it, and just it's tough for Dominic Reyes. I don't know who. There's so many heavy hitters at 205. You need to put him against a guy who doesn't have that, just because he's faced guys that just hit so damn hard, between Yuri, between Jan Blachowicz, now Ryan Spann. Maybe you give him someone like an Anthony Smith or something like that, but it's a tough spot for Dominic Reyes, so it'll be interesting to see how things go from here. And then we move to our feature prelim, Renato Moicano with a very dominant performance against Brad Riddell, and then just spazzes in that post-fight interview in the octagon. You could tell how excited he was. I was real excited. I had picked Moicano. I was hoping he'd get the win. I mean, he took such an ass whooping against RDA on short notice, so I was happy to see him go out, get a win. He had looked impressive against Hernandez, and that's why I had said I think he would get it done. He had more ways to win, and he showed that. He got the submission, but he was also looking great on the feet. He had Brad Riddell all bloodied up. So it'll be interesting to see what you do next with Moicano, and it'll be interesting to see what you do with Brad Riddell. I mean, that's just his third straight loss. 2 losses in a row where he has been completely dominated with Jalen Turner, and now this, and then a brutal knockout by Fiziev before that. So it's tough. I know he's a city kickboxing guy. I know a lot of people love him, but I don't know where you go from here with Brad Riddell. It's tough. Speaking of city kickboxing, we work our way right into the main card. Dan Hooker put on a great performance against Claudio Puelles. I was not expecting this. As I said in my pre-show, I thought Claudio was going to get it done. I thought he'd probably submit him. I think he tried very hard in that first round. Several Imanari rolls, tried to get that knee bar and such going, but just couldn't. And then by the second round, he was just looking like Ryan Hall out there. Just desperation, grappling, and just no game plan. It was almost tough to watch. What are you doing, man? He's a great talent. He's young, so I think he will be back. Some people are saying they may have think that the moment just got to him. I don't know about that, but Dan Hooker gets a win. Dan Hooker looked pretty impressive, and I'm sure a lot of the Kiwis loved to see that. Speaking of things we don't love to see, we move into the next fight. I had said in my pre-show, I'm picking Frankie purely off nostalgia. I think there's a good chance Gutierrez does go out there and get it done, but no one wanted to see him get it done in that fashion. Frankie had the great walkout, pans to his family cage side. I mean, Frankie's little son looks like a spitting image of him. I was like, oh my goodness. And I wanted one last ride. I wanted him to go out on top. I wanted him to use the wrestling, grind it out for 3 rounds, get a decision, get that roar from the MSG crowd. But it's not how we watch a brutal sport. It's a brutal game. The old are often fed to the young, and we saw that in this matchup. Chris Gutierrez with he put him out cold. He put him out stiff with that flying knee. Very impressive performance on Gutierrez's part. He looked good. He caught Frankie a few times at the start of the round. Frankie kind of shrugged it off, but the knee put it out. It was tough to watch. It wasn't fun. It wasn't what you wanted. And then you see Ali consoling his son as they're walking back. It's not what you want to see. I had said I wanted to see him against an older guy in his last fight. I didn't want to see him against Gutierrez, but like I said, guys, it's a brutal sport. And kudos to Gutierrez. He went out there. He did what he needed to do. He beat a big name. He's going to be ranked now. So it'll be good to see what Gutierrez does from here, but that was not anything I enjoyed watching. I can be pretty upfront with you there. Next, we go into something I really did enjoy watching, and that was the feature bout of the night. Iron Michael Chandler versus the Diamond, Dustin Poirier. As you guys know, I'm a big Michael Chandler fan. I was really hoping he'd get it done. And in the first round, he had Dustin hurt. A lot of people, why would you shoot for the takedown there? I almost didn't mind it because I really wanted Mike to utilize the wrestling this fight as he did in the second round and dominated him. Dominated Dustin in the second round. At the end of the first, he got caught, had that nose just boom, popped right open, as we saw in the second round while he's bleeding all over Dustin. I think the first round was a lot closer than people give it credit for. Yeah, Dustin did knock him down at the end, but I mean, up until that, Chandler was hitting him with some stuff, took him down, and then dominates him in the second, and then we go into the third. Chandler just gets a little bit too eager and aggressive on a slam. Dustin is able to take the back, lock in the body triangle, and it becomes the first man to ever submit Michael Chandler. Tough to watch for me too, because like I said, I'm a big Michael Chandler guy. So these first 3 fights of the main card, I all picked wrong on him because I went opposite. Like I said with the Frankie pick, it was pure on nostalgia. I thought Gutierrez would probably get the win, but I still officially picked Frankie, so it still shows as a loss. And then Chandler not being able to get it done. If he had just taken his time a little bit more on the slam, I think he would have been able to take Dustin down, controlled him for the rest of the round, got the good decision. But Mike's here to entertain. He said that several times. He's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time. So another great performance. And you would think after his last couple performances, you can't not respect Michael Chandler, but he may have gained even more respect of the performance he put on last night. Great all around. Definitely fight of the night. So a great one to see. We move into the co-main event. Carlos Esparza, Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili was a heavy betting favorite coming into this fight, minus 400 in certain books, and rightfully so. I think we all knew how this fight was going to go. I was very impressed, actually, by how Zhang was so quick to go for these submissions. You could tell she's definitely been working her ground game a lot since the second Rose fight, and she really showed it. Did a great job. Every time Carl went for a takedown, Zhang was threatening some sort of submission, was doing pretty well on the feet, and then is able to submit Carla in round 2. There's not much else to say about this fight. I mean, pretty dominant performance for Zhang. Carla had her moments, but overall, Weili got it done, made it look relatively easy. And it's interesting, where do you go from here? I mean, Amanda Lemos for Zhang Weili would be so damn good because it's just pure chaos. 2 women that hit so dang hard, always put up good fights. But at the same time, Lemos did just lose to Jessica Andrade. I know Andrade is scheduled against Lauren Murphy, but I wouldn't mind to see a Weili-Andrade rematch, to be honest with you. Anywhere Weili goes, it's going to be an entertaining fight, so I'm not going to complain with whoever they match her up against. They can match her up against, I don't know, an unranked person. I'd still pay to watch it because Weili always puts on a show. So it's pretty good. And now we move on to the main event, the big one. I got a lot of hate when I picked Alex Pereira. I got a lot of people, this isn't kickboxing. He's not going to be able to get it done. And trust me, by the 5th round, I may have started to believe that too, because Alex had his moments earlier in the fight. Can we all talk about what a damn good jab Alex Pereira has? Oh my goodness. Some of the jabs he was hitting Izzy with, I'm like, oh my God. It was nuts. It's like a piston pop. Got him. But overall, it was Izzy controlling the fight. I think Alex actually had the first round won until the last 10 seconds, where Izzy was able to steal the round. Alex won 2. Round 3, obviously a dominant round for Izzy, with getting the takedowns, getting him down. And then round 4, another good round for Adesanya. Going into round 5, that Poetan's corner starts hyping him up. You know what you need to do. You got 5 minutes to be world champion, and he took their advice. I mean, it looked like he got a second win there. I don't know if it was a second win or if he had just been conserving his energy through round 4 because he knew he could let it all out on round 5, but he let it all out, and he knocked out Israel Adesanya again, guys. People were complaining early stoppage. No. The only way you'd be mad at that stoppage is if you wanted to see Adesanya go out on oxygen like he did last time. Because more hooks were coming, knees were going to come, and if it kept going, Israel Adesanya was going to be sparked out cold. And there's no point for him to take that kind of damage. But oh my goodness, I was so excited to see it, guys. I had been rooting for Pereira. I had picked Pereira. I'm watching it with my buddy. My jaw just drops. I have a buddy, one of my buddies from work. He started working with me about 6 months ago. I've gotten him into MMA recently. He had watched it a little bit before, but he watches all the cards with me pretty much now. And I said, man, out of these 3 cards you've watched with me, we've had Leon knock out Usman at the end. We had a good card with the Hamzat Chimaev, and now he didn't watch 280 because it was a day card with me, but now at 281, another knockout late in the 5th from the challenger, knocking out the champion. Just, oh my goodness, you love to see it. And I was probably rooting for Usman in that fight against Leon. So the Leon knockout was a pure shock, and you couldn't help but be happy for Leon. But in this one, where I was rooting for Alex Pereira, oh my goodness, it was just pure excitement. I'm high-fiving my buddy. I actually FaceTimed my buddy Zach and my buddy Austin, because we had been texting all night about these fights. And oh my goodness, you love to see it. You wonder in Izzy's head, like, what's going through there? Like, you've met your superior. I mean, and in every fight, Izzy's had him in trouble. Izzy's looked good, and then Alex just finds ways to win. Whether it was inching out that first decision or the late knockouts in the MMA fight and the second kickboxing fight. This guy just finds a way to win. That proved the power's there, even in the round 5. The power sticks with him. The power's there. He had beaten up Izzy's leg. Izzy was limping around after the fight. He had said he had hit that nerve where he was having real trouble with it. You saw when Alex checked the kick too, Izzy kind of slipped, went down on it, and that leg was really beat up. My buddy Derek was texting me. He said, that leg's done for. And Alex took advantage of it. Put Izzy up against the cage, TKO'd him. Awesome performance, and new. Now, Glory double champ, now UFC middleweight champ. Guys, awesome night of fights. I don't know if we really could have asked for anything better overall. It'll be interesting to see kind of where you go from here, to be honest with you. I mean, it's tough in the main event. Like, do you do the second fight in MMA when Alex is already up 3-0? Or do you have, like, the winner of Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, which I probably think would be Whittaker? Like, do you do Whittaker versus Alex Pereira? Because I think Israel's going to need to take some time off, whether from the knockout itself or you heard him in the post-fight talking about health issues and such. So there may be a little hiatus coming for Izzy. Do you do the Whittaker fight? I would love if Glover doesn't get it done against Yuri. Dream matchup, Yuri Prohaska, Yuri Prohaska, Alex Pereira. But it's just, do you give him that after just winning the title? I don't know. We got a lot of stuff going on, so it'll be interesting to see. I already told you what I want to see Zhang do, either Amanda Lemos or the Jessica Andrade rematch. I think with Dustin Poirier, you probably do him versus Beneil Dariush. I think that would be a good one. Michael Chandler, I honestly don't know where you do it. I think the Conor McGregor fight still makes sense. I don't know a man alive, I don't know a person alive who wouldn't want to see that fight. It's going to be great. Fireworks from the get-go between Conor and Mike, so that's one I'd love to see. Frankie Edgar, obviously done, so we don't have to worry about seeing him in that state again. I hope he enjoys retirement, enjoys time with the family, the kids, and goes off into the sunset peacefully. I wish it would have ended with a win, but I mean, how can you not love Frankie Edgar? I started watching UFC in around 2008, and some of the best memories I got are Frankie Edgar. So it's it's tough. It's never easy seeing a legend go out like that, let alone go out in that manner. But you can only wish the best for him. It'll be interesting to see what you do with Gutierrez. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Ricky Simone or someone like that in the band, low, kind of in that not top 10, almost top 10. So that would be pretty interesting. Dan Hooker, I don't know. I'd love to see him versus Drew Dober in Perth. Maybe a little too early. Yeah, Drew Dober would probably be the pick. I was going to throw out Terrence McKinney, but I think either Terrence McKinney or Frivola will probably get the Patty fight. So that'll be pretty interesting. I don't know really where you go with Puelles. You got to give him a. I don't know who you put him up against. There's so many people. That lightweight division is so damn stacked. So it'll be interesting. And there we go, guys. Like I said, great night of fights. Easily best pay-per-view of the year. One of the best top to bottom pay-per-views we've had in a while. Was great to watch it. Definitely one of the best of the best. Want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Give me a follow on Twitter at TClarkIV. Give me a follow on Instagram at TFCIVMMA, and have a great rest of your weekend, guys.